gingerbread have to be one of the most famous cookies out there, so I'm going to show you how easy it is to make at home. First of all, we need to make a little dough. So quite simply, just use a mixer here, and we need 115 grams of butter. So I'll just cut 115 accurately, and we'll just cut that into cubes. We'll place that in our mixing bowl along with 100 grams of caster sugar. Now we want to start creaming this, and you need to give it a few minutes so it really starts to get light and fluffy. Okay, this is looking really good now, so I'll just turn the mixer down slightly and we can start adding in our golden syrup. Now I'm using golden syrup, but you could also use maple syrup or honey for this. And the last remaining wet ingredient, we just need 1 egg, and that can go in along with the golden syrup. We'll turn up the beater and just let that bind. Okay, that's looking really good now. So I'm just going to take this paddle off now, and we want to change it to a dough hook. Because we're adding a lot of dry ingredients now, this is going to save us a lot of time and arm work. We'll get the machine to do it all. So 400 grams of plain flour here. This is a low protein flour and great for baking, so I don't need to sift that at all. We're just going to pop it straight into our mixer, along with all the spices. Now you can't have gingerbread without some ginger, so I've got 2 teaspoons of powdered ginger here. That can go straight in. And I've got some baking powder just for it to rise just slightly. And some cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I love the addition of clove in this. Just a pinch of it really makes that difference. Okay, so this goes on now, and you just want to beat it until it really combines nicely and a dough is formed. Okay, this has come together quite nicely. So get all of that out, scrape it with your clean hands, of course, and just press that down just like that. I'm going to cut it in half, wrap it in a little bit of Glad wrap, and then chill it for about an hour. So by cutting it in half, it's just going to shorten the time so it firms up nicely in the fridge. This is great also if you only wanted to make a small batch of cookies. You can put one in the freezer for another time and then keep the other one for now. All right, into the fridge. Our gingerbread dough has firmed up nicely now, so it's time to roll this out. Now I find the best way to roll out is between 2 pieces of baking paper. Just makes life a lot easier. So 2 long pieces of baking paper, just like that. And we'll place our dough just in the centre there, cover it with a little bit more baking paper, give it a good squish down just for it to warm up slightly. And with a rolling pin, we just want to roll this out so we get a big, large circle. We want this to be about 4 millimetres thick before we start cutting these out, of course, into little gingerbread men. So with our cookie cutter, we just want to cut out shapes. And then it's as simple as baking them in the oven. These are not going to take long at all, between 10 to 12 minutes at 180 degrees. Look at our little bickies, they're cooked. That's the perfect one there, and the smell of them, well, you can smell all those beautiful spices. Now it's time to bring our little ginger men alive with some decoration. So what I love is to use a little bit of icing. So this is ready to roll icing. So we're just going to cut it in half. Now I don't want this to be too thick. We just want a really thin layer of icing on top of it. So let's roll it out. Oh, let's say 2 to 3 millimetres. You can see how easy it is to roll out. So I've got these great little pens here, these icing pens. This is going to act like a glue. So I'm going to do one just to show you for the first one. We've still got our little cookie cutter here. So we just want exactly the same size. Cut that. Take that icing away and very carefully just detach that from the board. Perfect. And then with our writing icing, I'm just going to trace around the cookie, not all the way to the end because I don't want to actually see this, just like glue. This is where you get the kids involved. They love doing this and creating little gingerbread men just like this. And then we're just going to match that up and then stick it down very carefully. Now, I find this the funnest part, getting the colours involved so we can create a little face. So I'm going to use blue today, and we'll start with some little eyes, just like that. A smile, of course, little nose. Of course, I wasn't the best in art school, but I'm sure all of you out there are a little bit creative, and I might just put a few buttons down the centre. There you go. I don't think that looks too bad. I'm actually quite happy with my little gingerbread man. I've got a few more to go, so be creative like I said. There's a few colours here. We might add a few more different things onto my gingerbread. I think he's missing a few shoes and some gloves. Now, as you can see, this is very serious business. No, I'm only joking. You can see really, like it's just all about having fun, getting the kids involved. But the main thing here is that gingerbread tastes fantastic and they look pretty good too.